Hi everyone. In this video, I will show you the step-by-step on how to make a post on Poshmark. This video will include 13 steps, so please listen carefully. And if you have any questions about any of the steps, feel free to leave questions in the comments below. So I'm going to start with the first step, which would be to take some photos of the item that you'd like to sell. So I would make sure that the photos that you're using have a white background or just like a blank background, and I would hang them up nicely so so that they look nice. And I sometimes prefer to lay the items flat on the floor and take the image that way depending on what the item is. Examples of times that I would put the item on the floor would be if I was taking a photo of the shoes, bathing suits, or anything small and not needed to be hung. I've seen people do this also for jeans, but I for some reason like to hang them. I'm going to go to the next step, which is the second step. This would be to do a basic Google search on the item to try to find if there are any stock images. And if there aren't any images, I would use the image as the main cover shot photo for the whole whole post. If there aren't stock images, that's fine too. You can also just take nice images yourself. So I'm going to do that so you guys can see. I'm going to do DVF, silk, sequins, cami, and I'm going to see what comes up because this is the photo that I'm going to be posting, and I just want to see if I can find this online. And if I could, I can use the stock image as my main cover photo. So I'm going to go on Google, and then I just do a basic search to see if there's any chance that anything, and voila, there's some posts. The images aren't amazing, but better than my image, definitely better. I usually go to images, and then I can get a more wide variety. You can see that other people posted the same image, and you can just copy the photo and use it yourself and drag it into your folder. I already dragged mine in, so I'm going to be using these images as my cover shot photo. So let's get back to the post. A tip would be to make sure that your photos have good lighting. I usually take my photos during the daytime to ensure that the lighting is perfect and bright. Some people spend money and invest in lighting, but I would suggest holding off on that until you have more sales on Poshmark. And you can refer to my other video, which is called Things to Invest in for Poshmark to enhance your sales, to help you figure out what to buy to make the images look better. Examples would be different lighting, stands, mannequins, etc. Poshmark encourages you to take extra steps to showcase your style and get creative with your cover shot photo. So styling or modeling your item also helps with the item sell more quickly, as opposed to just when it's on the hanger. This should be clearly represented in the main photo. To try to avoid any editing techniques that take away from from highlighting the item, such as collages or heavy special effects. So yeah, just something simple. It could be styled like here or modeled. If someone's wearing it, it's great as like a cover, as a photo, so that people can understand what it looks like. So let's get to the third step, which is actually like posting the item. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the right hand corner of the screen right here where it says sell item on Poshmark, and I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to upload the picked photos that I just took. I'm going to grab these photos and I'm going to drag them here. So it says add up to 16 photos to show the angles and details of your item. So I have a bunch of photos here, and I'm going to just copy and drag them over here. And I'm going to do a quick crop so that the whole photo image is shown. I think it's good to take the photos like from far so that it doesn't get cropped out whenever you're cropping them. It doesn't get cut out. As you can see, there's some pulling on the top, so I always try to show it in the photos so that the buyer can clearly see, like right there. I always get an image of the tag so that the buyer knows the materials. And then I'm using my stock images. And I love this one, great. So easy as that. And then you press apply. I never use any of these special effects. I feel like it's really weird. It makes, actually for these, it just makes it weird. I don't see any use for them. I think they look better on their own. So original, yes. Just want to make sure everything's good. I'm gonna press apply. And then you can drag it in whatever order you like it. So I would start with I would use the main stock image as the cover photo. So that's the first image that they're gonna see when they see the post. And then I'm gonna go with like the front of the top, then the sides or the hem. I would add that in closer. Another of the top. And then I would get to the tag and then the back of the top. And then we're gonna get to the next step. Which is the fourth step. And then under that would be to write a title. So I would start with like the brand name, which is Diane von Furstenberg, always in capital letters. And then I would do silk sequins printed top, cami top. So I just try to be as general as possible, nothing fancy. I write if there's any, so I start with like the name of the brand, and then I usually write a color, but this is like so many colors, so I didn't think it was that important. So, but if it was like a yellow top, I would write yellow. And then I would get to like the materials, which is like silk. I think it's important for the buyer to know that it's a silk top. And then I would write sequins, some details, special details about the top, and then what type of top it is, camisole top. So it's perfect title. And then I would get to description, which is the fifth step. And in this description, I typically write a description. I typically try to find a description from the website that I bought the item from, or if I find find the item on Poshmark or any other site that has the same item, I would use that. If neither of those choices are available, I would write the description myself. I would start with the brand name in capital letters. I would start with the brand name, and I would write Diane von Furstenberg, and then I would write the details about it. So I would say like if there's a color, which there isn't, I would write silk sequins printed camisole top. For just like purposes of not getting into too many details, I'm just gonna I found the top online, and I'm just gonna use their description. So I just copy and paste exactly what is written on like another website, and I use it for my post as well. So some features of the items: that it's sleeveless, silk shell, sequins, beaded details, and then it has the specific colors, DVF, anything that's important, anything at all you can include here. I think it's really important to include dimensions if it's a bag or if it's something that's measurable. Like if a lot of people ask for like the bust or the length. If you want to include any of those details, it's really great. It's really helpful for the buyer. Yeah, and then I would also include in this step the condition of the item. So whether it be NWT, which stands for new with tags, or NWOT, which stands with new without tags. You can also write whether it's used and the amount of times that it was used, and the condition that it was in. I would write if there was any stain or if the stain can be cleaned. I would also include if there are any tears or rips. Um, I think it's extremely important to be transparent in this step and as real as possible. It's not worth the hassle of having someone return the product because you hid a detail about it that you didn't want them to know. So make sure you look at the product really carefully and see if there's any issues before posting it without mentioning it. All items on Poshmark must be clearly and accurately represented. So if this isn't followed, it allows a buyer to file a return and it's not worth the hassle. Stains and small tears won't prevent people from buying the item if they know about it ahead of time and are aware of what they're buying. So yeah, as you can see, I included that there were some pulls on the sequins and I showed in the photos, so I didn't feel the need to write it here, but I definitely could write used top, so the condition is used, condition used, used, used and worn, and pulls on sequins shown in the photos above. So yeah, you can definitely include that if you think it's important or if there's any stains or anything like that. Just be honest and that's fine. And I think that you can still sell the item. It might not be exactly how much you wanted to sell it for, but it's still gonna, it will still sell to the right buyer and the buyer will appreciate the honesty. Okay, so now let's get back to the sixth step, which is filling in the category. So it's usually women's, men's, kids, homes, pets, electronics, and I see it as women's. And then you would get to all the other categories, and I would put in tops. And then there's subcategory, and here I would get more specific, and I would write it's a camisole. And that's optional. You don't have to get specific if you don't want to. You can just keep it as a woman top. But here I felt the need because it was a specific type of top. And it's easier for people to search for it if they know, like, instead of just the top, they'll search for a camisole. And it just higher your chances of having it sold. So I think that's a plus. And now let's get to the seventh step, which is quantity. It's a single item. If I'm selling multiple, I would click here, but it's a single item. Now this eighth step would be size. So I just fill in the size as size 12. And then I would get here to and this would be the ninth step, which is new with tags, yes or no. So I would say no. But let's say if it was new, I'd press yes, and then it would ask me if the item is boutique or not. And you can see in a feature video that I'm going to be posting, I'm going to teach you guys how to get a boutique certificate and what a boutique certificate means. And so, but for now, I'm just going to say the item was not new with tag, so I'm going to say no for time purposes. And then 10th step would be to write in the brand or designer, which I would type in Diane von Furstenberg, and it comes up quickly. I think that's self-explanatory. And then 11th step would be the colors. So I would put in some colors. I think it has some orange and some purple. But whatever color the top is, that's the color I would stick with. And then this is like a new section for Poshmark, which is style tags. And you can add whatever examples of whatever you think that it like relates to it. I don't really know how this works, but I think that when people search for it, it's more likely to come up. So I would include that it's sequins. Maybe I would put award season because it's fancy. And I would include that it's silk. So yeah, it's just like some tags, like some style descriptions. Other descriptions for this category that would work would be if it's like animal print, bohemian, athletic, beach, floral, handmade, satin, leather, and there's like a lot more. and you can just try play around with it and see what works for that item. And then we're gonna get to the 13th step and the last step, which is creating a price. So we're gonna try to set the original price. Making price. I typically write an original price, the highest amount that the product is listed for on the brand's website or however much I found it online. So let's see. So this is listed for $50, but I bet the original price of it is a lot more. If I can't find an image of it, I'll just look at similar items. And I see that their camisoles on their website are $148. So I would probably just stick with that price. So to list it here as $148, because that's probably around the original amount of the price. Then for the listing price, I would see how much it's being sold for and copy that amount, or maybe even do it a little bit lower than the price of it. I typically make sure the price I'm selling the item for covers the amount that I bought it for, and maybe even a little bit more. I try to make profit this way. Poshmark takes 20% of sales, so when looking at my earnings, I'm able to figure out how much the price it covers. So it tells me, I mean, I would go here to Mercari, which is selling it for $50, and maybe I would do it for a little bit less than that just to beat the price. Or if I see an image on Poshmark, doesn't look like it's with any. Oh, here. So here, yeah, I find that it's selling for $35. So I'd probably do it for the same amount. So yeah, I would post it for $35 or even a little bit less to beat the price. So maybe even $30. And then I would include, I don't think it's a good idea to add a discount now. I think I always just keep that as no discount because I always drop the price anyways as I get more likes on the product. So I always do no discount. And that's it. And then it's for sale. So you can just press next and that's it. The item is, and you press list. Ready? And I'm going to list it. And that's all. And then you can see here that the item is listed for the amount that I wanted it to. Thanks so much for watching this video on how to make a post on Poshmark in 13 steps. Please leave any comments if you have any below, and please like my page and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks so much for listening in. Have a good day. Bye.